Today we bring in a story that we haven't heard from since 2 years ago. Markus Jones Jr. was at the height of his career, and we didn't really see him talk to many girls in this story, but he definitely had a few options out there. And that's where we pick up the story. Markus had his eye on a chick since college, and now at the height of his career, he finally made the move. And of course, the further their relationship progressed, they had a child, and 16 years later brings us here. Markus Jones III was a spoiled brat. Don't get me wrong, the boy could hoop, but he was a big time brat. Always on the internet flexing what his daddy's money bought him and what he could do on the court. Got him into a lot of trouble as well. The trouble really started his junior year of high school. He was really a dog, but too flashy. Constantly getting in trouble on the court with the refs. They was calling techs on him getting kicked out of games. His seasons didn't really pan out the way he wanted them to. The on-court ejections led to him getting kicked out of school. Fights broke out in the hallway with him and his own teammate. Like, he won the fight, but lost in the long run. Getting kicked out halfway through his junior season in high school was a big blow, especially with the scouts trying to lock him in to be a part of their program. Also, with the talks of him getting ejected out of games, scouts were hesitant to even approach him anymore. But who was to blame? Because Markus Jones Sr. and Jr. was on his ass about his school behavior and on-court behavior. His mom was constantly on his ass as well, and none of it was working. Now let's fast forward to his senior year, and now the family is scrambling to get him into a school on the team to finish things out. Luckily, the James family, who had always been close to Markus Jones Jr., was bringing Cedar Valley back for the first time in years and reached out. After the last dean of Cedar Valley was arrested for money laundering, the school shut down. Now they moved this school from Seattle to Cali, and this was the final destination for Markus Jones III, who everyone called Trey. Now, the way the James family put this team together was almost like a movie. The team was mostly made up of former NBA players' family members, led by Allen Iverson's great-great-grandchild, James Iverson, who looked suspiciously like Allen himself, but standing at 6'1", he was a dog. Next up was the Jones family's cousin on his mama's side, Devin Hernandez, who was a dog as well. Just needed the room to grow. And of course, Trey. Just those three alone were going to make this season a great one. But let's get into the season so we can really see if the hype matched the gameplay from these three. The score is already 2-1, with Trey scoring 1 from the free throw. Coach calls a backdoor, and it's an easy bucket to get things going for the new Vipers. Fast break, and we see a little ball hogging from MK3, not passing the ball, getting around a much smaller player for the lay. Calling for the screen, and he's so good at shooting off the dribble, might as well get that out the net. Another thing he's good at is fast break. No one can catch him when he's coming downhill. Simple dunk, hanging on the rim, he's a menace. But now we're starting to see flashes of what got Trey in trouble as he shows off a bit, getting back. Rebounding is easy when you're 6'6", and again, downhill, untouchable, getting to the rim, tough and one on the layup, and now he's in full show-off bag, pointed at the cameras that's there to see him. Board off the missed free throw. This time he throws it up to James Iverson, who converts a tough lay at the rim. The Vipers are playing lockdown defense. This time Trey gets another pass from his cousin, and it's another conversion at the rim, and another moment for Trey to flex on this much weaker team who needs a timeout. But that wouldn't stop the Vipers from securing their first win on the road, and it wasn't even close as Trey finishes his debut with 15, 5, and 4. Folks were talking, and it wasn't all good. Next game, and Trey is in his assist bag, starting the game off with a dime out to James, who quickly pulls the jumper, getting the boys going. And it must be something about Trey's passes, because off the rebound, he gives one to his cousin, Devin, who quickly pulls a tough three, and it's straight through the net. And the Vipers defense is back on display. James with the strip, passing it up to MK3, who attacks this much smaller player, and that's a tough one that goes in again. Finally, with the lead in this game, downhill Trey taking off that vert, big dunk, got this crowd and the defense reconsidering putting this new Cedar Valley team on their schedule. And that wouldn't be the last time Trey rose up, down by 5, attacking the basket, getting the and one. And he had to let the student section know that this is in his DNA. He was really born for this, but the ref quickly tried to shut that down. But let's be honest, MK3 wasn't one to go away when the crowd was against him. Tipping the ball to himself for the board, fast break, getting another and one, and an overrated chance had to stop as he beats on his chest, letting them know he was truly an animal. Crazy thing is, the Vipers were still losing in this game, sizing the defender up. left him at the perimeter, switching it up at the basket. Tough goal and that smooth take. Down by 3, pass to James, who just looks his defender in the eye and takes off. Literally, first poster for James though. And the boys were not letting up the closer they got to halftime, getting to that rim. Then Trey calls for a screen, and every time they go under, he's going to pull. And 6 times out of 10, you had to get it out the net. I guess they didn't learn their lesson because after half, Devin passes one and Trey pulls a quick one. Easy bucket. Devin controlling the offense, passes to the corner. Quick shot again. And it's a miss, but MK3 with a vert, easy putback, and the team is on a roll. Fast break, the game is over, but had to get a couple more for the roll. Easy dunk, and another one. Showing off the ball handling skills, easy attack, even easier bucket. Another win on the road, 26-8-7 for Trey, or a 16-point victory. A little early to say, but who is really going to stop these guys? But we're moving on. Downhill Trey is what they call him, and you see why. Teams got to figure out how to stop this. Great defense, and a board leads to MK3 on the break, and it's looking like he's by himself, not passing the ball, crashing out on a smaller player, throwing him to the floor. And the student section is going wild after that. Assist man is finally back in the building. His cousin in the corner. Quick trigger, and you can count it every time. Coach calls another one for Devin, who's coming off a down screen, wide open. Get it out the net. The way Trey runs the screen, you would think he was a point guard. Get into the lane, Euro. He's too strong, and that's another body. He's always wanted to be like his pops, and I think he is, and maybe even a little bit better. Still not done abusing the rim. Design play for him. Pump fake, going to the basket, throwing it down again, grabbing another assist, getting the ball to James, lay over 2 defenders. But out of nowhere, Trey decides to tap into another mode, finding ways to get to the rim. Attacking defenders with no hesitation. The Stallions have to call a timeout, but it's looking a little too late for all that because the student section is all fired up, making the other team miss free throws, and now Devin is cooking people off the dribble. It's getting wicked. Screen. Goofy goes underneath, and you should know what it is after that. It's a bucket. Devin coming out of his shell, letting the fans know that it really is running in the family. Tween. Get it out the net. Trey calling for the ball because his man is sagging off. Pull up. That's too easy for the 5-star player. 19-7-5 and a 13-point win for the first home game of the Vipers. Got the Stallions looking sad on their way home. And we finally get a tough matchup for the Vipers as they take on IMG Academy, and this is their first real test this season. But Trey is fearless because he plays against most of these guys during the AAU season, starting the game off with a body, calling for a screen, shooting the jumper, this time getting the bounce to go. Running off the screen, finding himself open, and the shooter's touch saves him again, knocking down the 3. Another screen, and this time it's nothing but net, giving the Vipers the lead. Second quarter, down by 2. Trey makes his way to the rim, over to help defense, tying the game up. Fast forward to the third, and this game is all but over. Calling for the screen. Trey cashes one out, but the lead is too much. Finally getting some help from his cousin who's been missing this game. He takes a tough 3, and it's good to see one go in for him. Coach draws up a backdoor that works perfectly, and the Vipers are actually fighting back. Another screen this time, the defender fights back, and that's his bad because Trey carries him to the rim and through that bitch. Nasty poster for MK3, trying to demoralize this IMG team. Time running down in the third, only down by 8. And now James comes out of hiding, getting to the basket, getting the and one, and getting this crowd on their feet. It's a 5-point game. Still feeding that hot hand. James sees that interior of this team is ass and gets back to the rim, catching his own body. But it wouldn't be enough as IMG finishes off the Vipers barely as Trey finishes with 24-3. Now, the rest of the season was pretty much a cakewalk for the Vipers and MK3. It was time for the playoffs, and as you know, things tend to get heated around these parts, and one team in particular who had a loud mouth on the team was yapping on IG Live the day before their game against the Vipers, and Trey happened to see it and requested to join. Now, some crazy words were thrown around, and the boys started to threaten each other, and they were ready to fight. Now, needless to say, that fight never happened, but this game was one to remember. It's loudmouth versus loudmouth. And this game was starting off to look like an instant classic as both teams got straight to work from behind the line. Real question is, who's going to miss first and who's going to go on a run? With the score 9-3, Trey decided to get the team going. Tough defense, but even better offense. Fighting to get to the rim, tough late. Trey goes for a steal that puts him out of position, but he quickly gets back for the block and the board. downhill, and you know what's going on. Strong Euro to the dunk, and it's a tie game. But that wouldn't last long. Back down 5, Devin comes through off the screen, shooting a deep one for 3, and it actually goes in. But the second quarter is about to start with a bang as Trey locks in from the inbound, catches a man slipping for the body, and the Vipers are 2-turn. Screen, and we're back to the basket, getting the and one. MK3 staring down his defender. The dribble moves got his man slipping, finesse at the basket. Trey is too cold, dusting off his shoulders. The lead continues to increase as downhill Trey catches another body, and it's getting bad for the other team. But them boys were not giving up, giving Trey a nice bucket on the other end. Trey had a response every time off the screen, get it out the net. And unfortunately, the trash talker actually got a bucket off late in the third, and you know he was on the court yapping. But this only made the Vipers go harder. Pass to Devin off the screen, got him wide open, easy shot. Then what all of Instagram wanted to see happen, as Trey rises up on the yapper and puts him in the rim, the trash talking was crazy. Fourth quarter and Trey still going up. Off the inbound, easy 3, but the buckets were still coming from the other side, making this a 3-point game with 55 seconds left. Fast forward, and Lakeside threw up a prayer that was missed. Vipers trying to get Trey the ball, turns it over. Luckily they miss again and get the ball to Trey finally, who just takes off for the easy dunk. I'm surprised Lakeside didn't foul. And as Trey dribbles the clock out, the Vipers defeat Lakeside by 7 and move on to the high school state finals. Trey finishes with 29, 8, and 2 with a huge smile on his face and the bragging rights for the rest of his life. Which leads us to the state championship game and the last game of MK3's high school career. Getting the game started off with a board and a quick outlet to his cousin, who sauces up something crazy for a big 3-pointer to get the Vipers going. Another board, and downhill Trey is on the move this time, breaking the defender all the way down, pulling the jumper, and he gets it to go. Unfortunately for MK3, foul trouble set him down for the majority of the first, but he got right back to action, tying the game up quickly. Watch the dribble skills. Getting back to the basket for a tough lay, dusting off his shoulders. Right now, Trey is in with the bench players as throwing up trash, no worries, elevating, going to get the monstrous putback, getting the fans rocking. Pump fake, got Goofy in the air, taking off. Another Goofy wants to help, but he puts him in a state championship poster that kids will have hanging on their walls forever. The gang is back in the game, and James is getting them going with a big 3-pointer to give the Vipers a 1-point lead. James off the screen this time, can't make up his mind, but he takes the shot, get it out the net. The dribble moves from Trey out here, messing around with the defender, strong take to the basket, lay, and it's time to show off. Again, trying to make a highlight reel, showing that he's too good for the level of play. Another attack on the rim, another bucket. Making light work of the defense, getting another easy take. Trey is turned up as he realizes that this game is done with and the state title is so close to his reach. Game's not over though. Only a 7-point lead, slowing the game down, taking the 3, get it out the net. And Trey is saying that this game is over with to the student section. Even Devin is turned right now, getting the board, and the and one got him flexing with Trey. And of course, we needed one more for the road, and this one is over. MK3, Cali State champion, along with his cousin and James Iverson, putting the new Cedar Valley team back on the map. And this is a huge dream come true for the program and its players. But of course, the story doesn't end there. Although Trey had done his best to stay out of the negative light with the media, some college scouts were still hesitant to make a move on MK3, which put him in a very bad mood. But that's not to say he didn't have options. Player of his caliber, he was wanted by some grateful colleges. It's just, did Trey even want to go to college? We will see what happens next, but you guys get in the comments and let Trey know what you think. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.